Hello, hello. This is going to be a very quick, very easy, hopefully, video. We are doing the final, well, I say we, I mean Jay, is doing the final read through draft of the Foxy Rag. Things are all ready to go. Oh, you need 3 sheets. So I'm going to make the easiest accordion book possible using 3 sheets of 12 by 12 paper. Everything I'm going to do on this 12 by 12. Now, I've just gone for 3 Tim Holtz papers. Doesn't matter what you use. I've done 2 trials. I did one, then I did another one just to tweak it and make sure it works. There's probably other videos very similar, because if I can come up with something this easy, I'm sure somebody else has too. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab my scoreboard. I've got the camera a little bit higher today to hopefully get everything in. And I'm going to take my first sheet, and you want it on the diagonal, so top, bottom, and you want it this way. And I'm just going to score at 6 inches. And I'm going to do the same on both of these sheets. And I'm not worried about lining up pattern. I'm not worried about where the pattern is. And I'm just going to kind of give that a little crease. Slightly fold it in each direction. And do the same with this one. So that's part 1 done. Well, we're going to have an upside down bird somewhere, but that's okay. I'm going to put that on the end. So on one of my sheets, which I'm going to have as the middle, I've got my crease across the middle now, and I'm going to score. We do have to cut some of this off, but it's just I found it so much easier if we just score. So I'm going to score at 10, at 6, and at 2. Now, we could have done that the other way around. It would have been just as easy. So I'm scoring at 2, 6 inches, and 10 inches. Okay. So I'm going to do exactly the same on this one. So I'm going to score at 2 inches. I'm going to score at 6 inches. I'm going to score at 10 inches. And that's that one done. Easy peasy so far. Okay. So I'm just going to make these score lines on the 2-inch mark a little bit easier to see. And I'm going to decide, when they're together like this, which one of these middle bits I don't want. And I don't want that piece. My paper trimmer. And I'm going to just cut completely that 2 inches off. We don't need to waste it. We can use that on scrap box. There we go. Into the scrap box it goes. This is going to attach here. Okay, so we now have 2 inches here, 2 inches here, and we have a join here. Now, because these two are going to be joined, what I need to do, that's fine. This one is going to be joined here. I don't want this bottom 6-inch section. Okay, so I'm going to move to my cutting board. Glue out of the way. So we've got fold in the middle, 2 inches, and these are both 4 inches. We've got a 2-inch and a 2-inch and 2 4-inch sections, and again that's folded in half. I hope so far that's nice and clear. I'm going to take my ruler and my cutting knife, and I'm just going to first of all cut along that 6-inch line. Okay, and now I'm going to cut out that section. Going to fold that so I don't accidentally cut too far. Okay, cutting for this bit is done. Now I'm going to take my glue. You can use any glue or double-sided tape if you like. And I'm going to glue these together. This one, I mean, you don't have to have this flap, this hinge, 2 inches if you don't want to. You could cut it down an inch. I'm leaving mine at 2 inches. Right, so we now have a rather large piece of folded cardstock. I'm just going to crease those again, and I'm also now going to fold it in the middle like so. This is going to, so we fold it in, and then each of these side bits will fold backwards. So we now have, can you remember when we did the other one, we had our W shape. We've now got a W shape. So the next thing I want to do is cut off these bottom 6-inch panels. And again, I'm going to start by cutting the halfway so we don't accidentally cut further than we should. All for the scrapbooks, and the same the other side. Okay, so we now have this. So easy so far. Okay, hopefully you're finding it easy to follow along. Now what I want to do is I want to cut all of these lines from halfway down, but I want to put a tiny little gap, okay, and I'm going to start with this end. So I'm just going to take off, can you see how tiny that amount is? I'm just going to take off a tiny sliver there, and then I'm going to cut a little tiny sliver out of each flap, making sure we'll do something with that. There we go. We love an error, don't we? We love an error. That's fine. Got a plan for that. No worries. Okay, let's try and do the other side a little bit more carefully. Right, so we now have these 4 flaps out flat, so you can see what I'm doing. That one's going up and that one's going up, and then I'm going to turn it over, and these 2 will come the opposite way. Okay, you see where we're going so far? So we now have our W with our flaps. Now we need to make the pockets. Super easy. I've got my tear ruler, and decide how big you want your pocket, and just tear off the pieces you don't want. Keep them, we need those. Don't get rid of them. That's got rid of our upside down bird, putting the pocket that way. Pockets. And now what I'm going to do, just to make this a little bit easier, I'm just going to quickly glue a little bit of each pocket, just to get that in place and make it easier to see what's going on. So I've got a bit of a croaky throat today. So this is the one that I cut too far. So what I'm going to do and I'm only going to glue this end. So now that's the start of our super simple accordion book, and then that's the other side. So one side and the other side. Now what I'm going to do is, I've got these bits that we've torn off. Okay, I'm going to add this here as a pocket, but I'm just going to tear that, so we've just got a little corner pocket, something quite simple. We don't want it too close to the crease. This one I'm going to leave plain. There we go. So our pockets are now in place. As you can tell, this is a much flatter edge. If you wanted to, you could always tear the bottom edge and lower your pocket a little bit, and then you'd get that uneven edge like we did before. But I just think for the purposes of this type of project, something really quick, I was trying to think of things we could do with this. I actually wish I had some Christmas paper, because it would have made a really nice round robin as a kind of Christmas card rather than a folio. So you could add photos of what you've done throughout the year to send to family, friends, whatever. This is white chipboard that I got from Kerry at Which Craft Do You Do, but you could use any cardstock for this. I've cut 2 tags, and to fit on this size accordion, I've made them 3¼ inches wide by 7 inches high. And all I am going to do is glue these onto this sheet of cardstock. So top half of the tags are done. We're not going to glue this bit on just for a bit. So I'm going to grab my ink and my brush. Now you might have remembered I didn't ink any of this at all. That's fine, I don't mind. I'm good with it today. So we want, with the flap on our left, we can put our front cover on to our little accordion book. You can see I've not folded quite well here, but that's fine. I'm going to take my pencil and I'm just going to put a little mark at the top and at the bottom, because that's where I want to glue. And I'm just going to glue along there. And I'm lining up the corner of my tag with the top of my book. Glue that down. And then we're going to do the same with the back. Fabulous. So I've got this left. I'm going to get my paper cutter and I'm going to cut 2 pieces that are 3¼ inches wide by 7 inches. These you could equally cut out of scraps. They don't have to be cut out of that same sheet. If you've got scraps, your cover could all be made from your scraps. So I'm just going to ink this very quickly. So what I'm going to do to make sure I get this fairly level and don't put glue too far over here, I'm going to glue the top and down to that flap, this edge and across here. Obviously this can all be glued. And I'm just going to roughly glue there. I don't want to go too close to that, the area that's not going to be covered with our tag. I do, however, want to make sure I get that whole tag, the area of the tag that's showing. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue down here and make sure we've got that overhang. So put it on its side. I'm going to line this edge up and the bottom. So now we've got glue along this edge of the tag, the paper tag, and then we've got glue underneath where the tag is. And take my scissors, trim that off. I'm going to do the same here. And that is finished. It's ready to decorate. This has taken me 25-ish minutes, and there we are. If you wanted to, I had a lot of messages saying, you know, oh, it's so intimidating, it seems really complicated, but I'd love to make one. So problem solving was what I was doing in the middle of the night. How easy could we make this? How quick could we make one? If you wanted to, before you put the covers on, you could do some sewing if you wanted. This was just the easiest and quickest way we could make one. And now you're ready to decorate as much or as little as you want. So for those of you that were intimidated because it looked really hard, I hope this has solved the problem for you, and I do hope you'll give it a go. It's you know, this one's pretty cool. And like I said, you could make this, put little photos in, little notes. You could put gift cards in if you made it with Christmas paper. You don't have to make it quite so big. I think it's cool. So thank you for joining me. I know it was a very quick video. I will see you all soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye.